Hey everybody, the leaf blowers are out and the weather is getting a little bit more brisket. So you know what it is? It's Rocktober. How many used car lots and guitar centers are having a Rocktober sale right now? I just got back from Toronto, Canada, and it was one of the best stand-up comedy experiences of my entire life, including the night I came back. I did 11 shows in 5 days. On last Thursday, I did 3 headlining shows, 45 minutes each. Then I had 10-minute club spots on Thursday and Friday with a bunch of other fucking awesome Canadian comedians. And then I did an hour-long set on Sunday, thank you. That was at Niagara Falls, which is just the most fever-dreamish place I've ever been in my entire life. There's a haunted house next to a Papa John's. It's like performing in a Scooby-Doo episode. Most, if not all, of the shows sold out, and that's thanks to you. And thank you so much for coming. And now I'm going to read you a list if you're in the Toronto area, or if you're in Canada at all, or if you live in Buffalo, New York for some reason. Here are a bunch of comedians that you should absolutely know and locations you should visit on a consistent basis to get your fill of the yucks. These people are very talented and they deserve your attention. JJ Lieberman is one of the most unique comedians I've ever seen in my entire life. Ryan Long is tall and skinny and he looks like a rock and roll man, and he has rings and the dustiest voice, the dustiest cowboy voice I've ever heard in my life, and he looks like if somebody took a Guitar Hero character and plucked him out of the game, put him right in real life, Cool World style, with Bradley Pitt. You remember that? No. Ryan Oporto hosted most of the shows, and he's fucking awesome. Kyle Lucy, Paul Thompson, Tamara Montgomery, Morgan O'Shea, I think it's Rahil Sheikh. We spent a good amount of time with it. That dude cracked me up a lot. He has this one joke. I'm not going to tell you his joke. Go listen to his joke. I'm going to fuck up half these people's names. Danny Polishchuk. I'm sorry, Danny. Angelica Scanura. Robert Rusky. Joey Harlem. Talked about killing his cousin. Sandro Very and Conrad O'Shea or OC. Look up all these people. There's the Downtown Club on John Street, and then there is the Corner Comedy Club East, and I'm not exactly sure what street that was on, but it's easy enough to look up because you got goddamn internet. All these people kind of accepted me as one of the gang all weekend, and I had an awesome time listening to everyone, and no one sucked. And everybody was fucking awesome, and it was a real pleasure to be part of the group for a weekend. While we were up there, me and Zoya went to Niagara Falls, and that was fun. I had never seen that before. It's fun to see that much water fall off a rock. Someone walking behind me dropped a bottle of water, and I turned around and I said, I think this area has enough falling water for the time being. Did you know that a little more than 15% of the cast of the hit cult 80s classic movie The Breakfast Club lied about having a girlfriend in the Niagara Falls area?
You know, Niagara Falls was the most interesting thing before the internet.
A little known fact about Niagara Falls and the people who visited: none of these bands made it.
This was a train.
Hi. Did you know that you can visit Niagara Falls even if you're racist? But don't. You shouldn't be, because there's all different. Everyone's here, so maybe shut.
This is or was a power plant.
We laughed about it. Here's a new segment called 3 Questions. I pulled 3 questions that are in a running theme. So here's 3 questions that you had about stand-up comedy. I'm going to do my best to answer them real nice. River Song says, advice for stand-up comics. First of all, if your name is River Song, you're going to not want to change that. You're already halfway there. My advice would be to do something comedy related every day and try to get on a stage every day. And it's the quickest, best way to get better. Doing 11 shows in 5 days, it's just like accelerate. It's like going to open mic for 3 months. It was so awesome. And even during the first set of shows, it's like I knew that this closer wouldn't work as well as this would, and changing things on the fly, and then doing crowd work in the first show that I would elaborate on in the second show. And it's just really awesome. The sheer volume of things. That's why you kind of have to live in, you know, big city like Toronto or New York or California, where you can go to several places a night if you have the opportunity. I think it was a Jerry Seinfeld thing to just have a calendar and make a mark on the calendar for every day that you do something, and just don't let a day lapse without a check mark. So do that every day. Do it every day. Go to a music open mic and force your stand-up comedy on them, and they're not going to laugh, and record all your sets and listen to them back and try not to hate yourself. Shane P says, what is your method for gathering material? I write everything down. I heard Steve Martin talk about your brain as a goddamn idea factory. And the problem with that is, like, I'll have a ton of ideas. I'll wake up at 5 every day. Not my choice. I just never adjusted to the fucking time change. I immediately start working on things, whether it's a video or writing. And then all throughout the day, whenever I think anything is funny, I'll write it in my phone, because if I don't, it's just going to go. And then I'll be thinking later on that night and be like, I'm kind of sick of all my jokes at the moment, and I really want to try new things. Didn't I think of something funny earlier this morning? And then I'll be able to think of it, and it just gets amalgamated into everything else I thought that day, and it's gone forever. So write down everything you think is funny, and most of it's going to be horseshit. But then you'll find little bits of things that, dude, I found a note from like months ago that worked as just like a passing sentence in a joke that I've been doing for the past couple months. You never know. And then that reinvigorates a joke that you've been doing for a long time that you're kind of tired of. Like, oh, maybe if I say this, and then the joke becomes brand new and you're so excited to say it again. Stanley Stannerson, how do you recover when a joke doesn't land? Ooh, finally, something I'm an expert in. If you say something on stage and it doesn't land, you just got to address that. I had an interview on this channel with Maz Jabrani, and he talks about that. And then I was on Ari Manis's podcast that's not out yet, but I'll let you know when it's out. And we were talking about how fucking weird it is when somebody says a joke on stage and then just tries to power through the rest of their written material, and it doesn't work. Stand-up comedy is a live shared experience. It's not like you're watching a video, you can click off to something else or rewind to be like, what the fuck did that person just say? You're live, you're sitting in a room and you're in front of a bunch of other people. So if something weird happens in the room, like if you're at dinner with everybody and something weird happens at dinner, if somebody doesn't address it, that's so fucking weird. And then it takes everybody out of the live experience. You're distracted for the rest of the time. You're like, why is that person not talking about the weird thing that just happened? A couple years ago, I would have long stints in between shows, right? So I would have these 7 things that I wanted to say in my like 5-minute set. And I'd be like, well, I have to get through all of them or else they're never going to get any better. So I would say one thing and it would fall flat. And then I'd be like, okay, well, now on to the next joke. And then everything falls flat after that. It was like shitty dominoes. It's like playing dominoes with shit. You try standing up some shit. It's like when you pick up your dog shit too early after the dog shits, and you're like, I could have waited to the wind for the wind to touch this a little bit, harden it up, easier to pick up. I don't know that analogy worked after the first couple sentences. Now I'd like to show you what will quickly become the newest video craze on this particular show, Mike in the Morning, and that is a young married couple getting got with the Hey Stone. And then if you get it and if you're into it, send me your video submissions doing this, because I think it's hilarious and adorable simultaneously.
Hey, shh, don't.
Coming back from Canada, I was in the middle seat, and the middle seat's a terrible place. If you're on the aisle seat, you got the whole aisle, and it's up to you to lean out and to give the middle seat person some room to breathe, please. And then when the cart is coming through, you get on your shit, because that's the price you pay, and you move yourself and you adjust. And it's not unlike the cha-cha slide in that way. Absolutely don't take up both. Who are you that you think taking up both armrests is your duty. That's horseshit. You get one armrest, and the person do everything to make the person in the middle seat not want to kill themselves. I was here, and this dude's arm was over my arm the entire time, and I gotta adjust. I gotta have fucking tilty Forrest Gump spine because this dude wants to fucking spread while I'm just trying to be normal. At one point, I had dude spread, and then Zoya did adorable head on shoulder, and I went like this in silence. I had my headphones on and I went like this, and I was going to flip out. And that was the most claustrophobic I've ever felt in my entire life, just because this dude had to fucking kiss me soft with his triceps. Didn't like it. Continue to not like it. I thank God for every minute that I'm not in a middle seat. And then someone on Twitter, this young lady asked me to make up her senior quote, her senior yearbook quote. She was like, what should my senior yearbook quote be? And at first I was like, too much pressure. That's forever, baby girl. And then I was like, high school is the airplane middle seat of the educational experience. Realest shit I ever wrote. So thank you so much for joining us this morning on Mike in the Morning, and I'm excited to make these for you. I'm reinvigorated because I go and I do these shows and I meet you guys face to face, and it's so much better than looking at numbers on a screen. Holy shit. You come up and you're wearing your goddamn t-shirts, you know, just the shitty day that you had, and then you watch the video and the day got better, and there's nothing better than that. And I love meeting you guys face to face, and I love when you make the effort to come out, and I love making the effort to come see you, and it's going to happen so much more because I want to do stand up until I'm fucking dead. I want to do stand up until I'm fucking, I want to be posed like I'm doing stand up at my funeral, like this. I want my headstone to say, "Did you ever notice?" All right, man. Thank you to everyone who sponsors the show for just $5 a month. You can get both of the books that I wrote. You can get a coupon to use on all the merch and dynamic banter merch and shit like that. You get your name in the credits. That's probably happening now if it didn't already happen. And I had a great time in Canada, and I'll be back. And I'm coming for the rest of you motherfuckers, unless you live in Buffalo, New York. But I'm never going to come up there. You could drive. You could shovel your car out of 7 feet of snow, and you could drive to where I am.